Hey, what's up, man?
Yo, what's good? What's good?
Hey, man. Look, just trying to maintain, trying to maintain.
I feel you, man.
lot going on, lot going on. Hopefully, we can say some things that can resonate.
Yeah. All right.
All right, you ready to get it going?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get it started.
All right. Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, this is Deja Vu. Didn't we just do that?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Man, what's going on? First of all, man, gotta give a couple of shout outs. New Bern High football team.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, New Bern High, go Bears.
yeah, they're class of 1990.
Class of 1992. I know we aging ourselves. Class of
Yeah,
1992.
I know. Look, that's not a password now.
Yeah.
They'll be playing for the to go to the state championship.
Yep.
So if they win tomorrow night, they'll be against Millbrook. They'll be playing the winner of Grimsley, or I can't think of the other team. It don't matter.
Yeah, it don't matter. Yeah, it don't matter.
It don't matter. Also, a shout out to East Duplin. They're playing to go to the state championship tomorrow as well. They're playing Wallace, and you don't know much about Duplin County, man, but Wallace and East Duplin are rivals in the same
yeah.
conference. So
Are they what classification are they? Are they
2A.
2A?
2A.
Okay.
Yeah, they are actually playing to go to the state championship as well. So two teams in the same county, schools maybe 23, 24 miles apart, rivals. So you know that game is going to be packed. My nephew, Dante, one of the main players on that team, Dante
Okay.
Hall. So I'm kind of torn, man, if I'm going to the New Bern game. Am I going to East Duplin to check out my nephew?
Yeah, I was supposed to be going to New Bern, but I have Cosmo. I have to babysit my dog tomorrow,
Yeah.
so I'll be watching it I'll be streaming it since they stream it
Yeah.
live. So I'll be watching it
Yeah.
that way.
Well, I watched it. I went there with Tanya.
Yeah.
So when they played Roseville,
Yeah.
man, they put a thumping on them, man.
Yeah.
Man, they did some damage, put 70 points on them. So good luck to the Bears, and good luck to the Panthers.
Yeah.
And one last thing, I have to get this out. I know you took your children to a lot of games and got them to practices. Just make sure you go to the parent-teacher conferences as well. All right,
Hey, what about? I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving, man. We had a good Thanksgiving.
man. Look, you should have uploaded that thing with Chris, man.
I know. I should have did that.
I forgot about that. Yeah, man. Great time at my sister Joanne's house. Chris, our first cousins, Chris and Tawana came by.
Yeah.
Chris and Tawana. So that was one of the fun.
Yeah.
We always have good ones, but that's one of the ones we're gonna remember for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
A lot of laughing.
Yeah.
Good to see childhood cousins.
Yeah. Especially that if you looking for a game that's fun, it's called Culture Tags.
Country Jackson.
Yeah. It's probably one of the it was so good. I ordered it and we have it now, so we may have to play it in a little bit, but it's definitely a fun game. But you got to know about the culture though. That's the only thing.
Yeah, I know about the culture. Yeah.
Everybody can't play that game.
Lit.
Yeah.
So, all right, man. So let's get with it, man. So
Yeah.
first of all, man. Congratulations to Hakeem Jeffers,
Yeah.
elected by the Democratic Party leadership to lead the Democratic Party in the House.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know how significant this is.
And a lot of people don't know Hakeem Jeffers, but if you don't know, you're about to find out.
You're about to find out. Yeah.
Brooklyn in the house.
Yeah. He's what's that thing? F around and find out.
Yeah,
That kind
yeah.
of thing. I'm
Yeah.
not going to use profanity, but yeah. But a lot of people know how significant this is.
Mm-hmm.
So if the Democrats retake the House in 2 years, then he will become Speaker of the House.
Mm-hmm.
And little civics lesson, in presidential succession, uh, you have the president, and then the vice president, and then the Speaker of the House.
Yep.
So the Speaker of the House is the third in line to the
Mm-hmm.
presidency. So that's how significant that is.
Yeah.
So definitely, congratulations to Hakeem Jeffers.
Yeah.
Long time coming. I think it should have been sooner. I'm one who believes that leadership should reflect your constituency.
Yeah.
And with African Americans, as much support as they throw behind the Democratic Party, that was a long time coming.
Yeah.
I just say that. So congratulations to him. He's also he's a member of Divine Nine, so I know the Kappa brothers are kind of, well, I'm not a Kappa, but the Kappa brothers, those guys
Yeah.
are definitely beating their chest, and I'm sure he's going to represent the organization well. I'm sure he's going to represent the Divine Nine well as well.
Yeah. And this has been in the works, so this is just like, this isn't like a rush decision. He's been groomed for the last 5 years to step into this spot. So
Yeah.
so they did have a succession plan.
Yeah, that's good. And one thing about it, it was a peaceful transfer. It wasn't any squabbling or anything like that. So that's awesome as well.
Yep. The Republicans, on the other hand, they have a they have some issues going on. Kevin McCarthy, who's currently the minority leader on the Republican side of the House. One of his goals has been for a long time to be the Speaker of the House. Unfortunately, he has the Republicans that they're going to have a small majority in the House, and we're talking about maybe 4 or 5 seat majority. And so right now, word on the street is that he doesn't have the votes to become Speaker. So he's cutting deals with the MAGA faction of the Republican Party, people like Marjorie Taylor, Paul Gosar, Matt, what's his name? Matt Gaetz out of Florida. So,
he might not survive his term. He might be indicted.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting on the Republican side.
And the thing is the only deal she could cut, he's going to have to give those people, put them on influential committees, or give them leadership positions.
Yeah. Which
that part is troublesome in itself. But as a result, but here's the thing, the MAGA faction, I think I'm reading it correctly. Even from conservative outlets, the reason why they didn't have a larger majority, the reason why they didn't win the Senate and win the House, which they really should have, if you look at historical trends, is the fact that they put some bad candidates out that was supported by Mr. Trump.
Yeah.
And what happened is a good majority of Americans, Republicans included, basically said that this is not where we want the country to go. And they gave it loud and clear, because a lot of the people that were handpicked by Trump did not win. And they did not win because Republicans did not vote for them.
Yeah.
Case in point, look at Georgia. When Herschel Walker ran, look at the top of the ticket. The top of the ticket was Kemp, right?
Yeah.
Governor. Kemp got more votes than Herschel Walker.
Mm-hmm.
That lets you know that Republicans that voted for Kemp opted not to vote for the Trump pick, Herschel Walker.
Yeah.
That's problematic, because a more qualified candidate would have beat Warnock. It's just he would have beat him.
Yeah.
If you look at the votes, it would have beat him.
Yeah.
So and Herschel Walker, like I said, he handpicked him, moved him from Texas.
Well, he still lives in Texas.
He still lives in Texas.
Yeah, he lives in Texas.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that's where he's been living for the last 18, 19 years. I mean, he's a Texas resident. There was a report that came out um, last week, and it said that he claimed an exemption. Um, and the only way that you can claim that exemption in Texas is if you list it as your primary residence.
Okay.
So, I mean, he's a Texas resident.
Okay.
So,
Well, it is what it is.
yeah,
The lesson is basically, hey, um, it appears that the Republican Party is trying slowly to move on from Trump. But I think Mr. Trump, I think he's the type of person where if he doesn't win, he'll watch it burn down while he's trying. That
well,
kind of thing.
I haven't seen any indication that they're moving away from Trump.
Okay.
Not the leadership. I mean, Mitch McConnell came out and made a statement earlier this week when over the weekend, I think it was over the weekend, Kanye West and Nick Fuentes they had dinner with Donald Trump,
Well,
and
tell them who Nick. Tell people who don't know. Let them know who Nick Fuentes is.
well, yeah, he's a. I'm trying to find a way to describe him. I mean, he's a racist. He's a Holocaust denier, but that Donald Trump said he didn't know who he was, and I'm just like, man, you just let anybody just roll up into Mar-a-Lago. I mean, so I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
the thing is, we don't know. We know better because anybody that comes to see a former vice president, a former president, anybody, they have to, or president, you have to be vetted by the Secret Service,
correct,
right? So if he got up in there, he knew exactly what he was doing
correct,
and who Nick Fuentes was.
correct.
So that's disingenuous. And I never forget when Trump first won, first ran for office, and I didn't take him seriously, right, in the beginning. And then Joanne called me. And Joanne called me and said, Junior, guess who was on his campaign team? She said Steve Bannon. And so once she said Steve Bannon, you already knew the play he was going to make because Steve Bannon of Breitbart, those white nationalists and those racists that repeated to that magazine, though that lets you know the angle that he was going to take when he ran his campaign. So this is nothing new. When he was president, he retweeted right-wing white supremacists. He retweeted neo-Nazis. You know what I'm saying? So it's not surprising that that person would be there and Trump would know. And I think you're right. The leadership hasn't moved away from Trump, but I think the constituency looks like they're trying to move away.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to answer. I know that Paul. I know that Kevin McCarthy. He was asked earlier this week if he denounces Trump meeting with those folks this weekend, and he lied and said that he denounced them 4 times, and the reporter called him out, and then he was like, "Well, I denounce him." I'm just saying, so you can't. Kevin McCarthy has made a deal with the devil. He's
Yeah.
made a deal. He's made a deal with Donald Trump the same way everything happened after. Do you remember after January 6th? After all that stuff, Kevin McCarthy went down to Mar-a-Lago and took a picture with Donald Trump. I mean, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, after he denounced him on the House and everything,
Correct.
and then exactly. So you guys, you stand with the fall for anything. But you're right. You make a deal with the devil. There is not an escape clause.
And the other thing is, Mitch McConnell did make a statement, but he talked about it in the he didn't name Trump individually. He said if a person. He said if a person, and I'm just like, come on, man. So they
Well, see, you guys said these are, Mitch McConnell's a shrewd politician.
yeah,
He may be a multi-millionaire several times over, but he's Kentucky. He understands those Kentucky people, so
yeah,
he understands that regardless of whatever, there's a key part of his constituency that's going to ride or die with your man Trump. So
yeah.
there you have it.
And speaking of Mitch McConnell, one of his aides was just sentenced to 10 years for. He was an aide to McConnell and Rand Paul. He was just sentenced for in the 2016 election funneling Russian money into the campaigns. So I mean, it's
Wait, say it again.
yeah, one of his aides.
That's for proving a hoax, ain't it?
Well, exactly. So yeah,
Yeah.
but the constituents haven't. I don't know. Joanne just put a comment up there. Look, his supporters and what she said. His most ardent supporters will come out and back for him. They're only going to come out for him.
Yeah. So it's a situation now where I think they say a repeat of 2016, where a lot of those primaries that Trump won, he didn't win with a small percentage.
Correct.
Because the crowd was the field was so crowded.
Yeah.
So he was winning these primaries with 29, 30%, or
Yeah.
40%, whatever. Where if it would have been one succinct person, he might
Correct.
not have got those wins.
Correct.
So it looks like this primary field is for the Republican Party might be crowded again, and you have a repeat of 2016.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to challenge him. That's what I believe.
Yeah. Not even from Florida.
Because they want is that the people that support they support Trump. It's the cult of Trump. It's not about the Republican Party. It's about Donald Trump.
True.
And so the only way that someone's going to primary him is that they have to be prepared to withstand all the stuff. I'm not gonna. They have to be able to, the little Marco and Lion Ted and all those little nicknames, and they.
I think DeSantis is about that life, though, man.
I don't think so.
I think he can give it.
No. Did you see DeSantis in that debate against Charlie Crist? No, absolutely not.
My bad. Yeah, thanks for reminding me.
Absolutely not.
I stand corrected.
Yeah.
I stand corrected.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. So we'll see. I stand corrected.
Ron DeSantis is a small person, in stature also, and there's a reason why. There's a reason why he only goes to Fox News and all those the people that throw those softball questions, because he can't defend his record.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely see. We'll definitely see.
Yep.
What we got going, man? Let's see here. Listen. I know we didn't get it last time when it happened, when it was in the news, but affirmative action. That case that's coming, where they're actually having UNC Chapel Hill and Harvard in the Supreme Court as far as determining if these I would call set-aside, these procedures set aside for minorities, to see if those are constitutional.
Yeah, I mean, they've already argued the case, but I don't know. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I think that, and the reason why I mentioned that, I think now if they are going to, they say racial set-asides are unconstitutional. So does that mean that they're going to go in and say that set-asides for, like, for instance, when our daughter, when Morgan went to Chapel Hill, she got special consideration because she lived in a rural district.
Well, I think someone would have to bring up that case. I mean, I'm not convinced it's going to happen. I mean, I listen to it. It can go really either way. But the problem is that we're trying to figure out who was harmed.
Say it again?
I said, because when you look at the case was brought on behalf of Asian students, but yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, man. I don't think if you really look at who's actually getting all the slots, the majority of it is not going to African Americans, right?
I mean, this is all stuff we know, man.
Yeah,
we know this. We
Yeah,
know this.
but people still, and like I said, if you look at as far as preferential treatment, you know who gets the most preferential treatment?
Uh,
Probably athletes.
yeah, yeah,
Athletes, yeah, athletes, because
yeah.
athletes don't have to meet the requirements that the other students have to get in.
Correct.
Like students getting into Duke and Stanford and Harvard with minimum GPAs and whatever, uh, if you're going to set aside that, then hey, attack those as well.
Well, I mean, I think we just have to wait and see how it plays out. But I absolutely think that um, that if affirmative action if it's overturned, that the next step is going to be those legacy admissions and the special interest dean, all those other
Yeah,
faculty, children of faculty, all those other programs have to be looked at. So we'll.
yeah.
So I mean, it's only a matter of time. And the question is, do they want to open that can?
Well, like I said, if if you're going to just go on merits, if you go on just merit, then it's going to knock out a whole lot of people.
Yeah,
Right?
but it. We know what this is about, man. I mean,
Yeah, we know.
I
What
mean,
is it about, man? Go ahead,
I'm just saying we know what it's about. I mean, people think that there are some people who think that just because they were born within a certain family or born a certain race that something is inherently theirs, and they even though they don't have it, and they see someone else getting it, they believe that if I get a spot, I'm taking it away from you. I mean, so I mean, there's nothing new under the sun, man. I guess that's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say.
So basically, it goes back to that quote, that famous quote, or
Yeah,
that made me say, if you're accustomed to privilege,
yeah,
equality feels like oppression.
yeah. And so, and the reality again is when you look at it, the case was brought on. Yeah. Anyway, we can talk. We can talk this to death, man. I mean, it's
I
just
know.
it's just I don't know. It's silliness. It's
All right.
silliness.
Another thing, man. How about Arizona, man?
Um,
Arizona. The governor. She obviously lost the election. She. You
you
have
talking
two
about?
counties who was it two counties who were refusing to certify the election?
I think it was one, but they voted to certify it today. It was either today or yesterday.
So how many left now?
Oh, actually, hold on. No. I'm thinking about the one in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I'm about to say, yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's two, yeah. Where these Republicans, they're refusing to certify the election. First of all, how's my sound? Because I know I was having issues before.
No, I think it
If
sounds
you're out
fine.
there, because you hear me fine last time, I don't think. Can y'all hear me good out there?
I don't see nobody complaining.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. But yeah, it goes back to what we were saying before. People who were questioning democracy, and then you lose faith in it, and then you find yourself going to the Capitol on January 6th and trying to overthrow the election.
Yeah.
Uh,
But the thing is, the if I'm not mistaken, I don't think there's anybody that was that questioned the election that they got, especially Secretary of the States. All those people, Pennsylvania,
yeah,
Wisconsin, what was the other one? In Arizona, they all lost.
yeah. The people who were, and these are the people who would have been Secretary. Think about this now. These people, if they would have won,
Yeah.
they would have been Secretary of State in the next presidential election.
Correct.
And if Trump would have lost, like he lost in Arizona and lost in Pennsylvania and places like that, these people would not have certified the election.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
I mean, that's what they ran on.
Yeah, that's what they
Yeah.
ran on. So
So
it goes to show you, man. It
I'm
goes
still
to
not
show you.
convinced that Trump is even going to make it. I mean, the House, they just got his tax returns. I'm not really sure what they're going to do with it, but
Yeah.
they just received his tax returns. There was let's see, the income scheme may make that not matter. What do you mean, Joanne?
Yeah, because I think the issue is that the even though the Supreme Court ruled that the House could get the documents, look at the timing, right?
Well,
Uh,
they still got
by
a
the time
month.
you still got a month, yeah, maybe they'll send them to the Senate Judiciary Committee because
Yeah.
once the Republicans take over those committees, they're probably going to shut this stuff down.
Well, and there's also nothing saying that the Senate can't investigate because if Raphael, if Warnock wins, having 51 senators makes it a little easier. But at the end of the day, man, I mean, I think it's about governing, and
Yeah.
regardless of what, Joanne is talking about the independent state legislative theory. Yeah, we'll see how that works.
What's
Yeah,
that?
the case where it says that basically there could be, in a nutshell, we know that there's checks and balances, but if this independent state legislator, whatever it goes, is basically saying that state courts, they can't overrule what in terms of voting, they can't overrule what the state legislators, the decisions that they make.
So say it one time now. I want to make sure I understand
In
it.
terms of voting,
Yeah, turn
when you
vote.
look at the Constitution, who's responsible for voting laws, enacting voting laws? It's just
Oh well,
it's the state legislature.
yes. Uh huh.
But as it stands now, if something is unlawful, the state supreme courts they have what's the word? They have authority, or
Jurisdiction.
they have jurisdiction to be
Jurisdiction.
able to right or wrong or rule on it. With the independent state legislator, this theory is saying that the state supreme court, they shouldn't have that ability because election lies with the state legislators. So basically, they're arguing that basically there could be no check on voting laws that state legislators that they make.
Oh yeah, I see. I see exactly what you're saying.
Yeah,
The issue with that, it goes back to what you said, man. There's nothing new under the sun.
yeah,
Because basically, what you have, uh, you once that it goes back to that case Shelby versus Holder, right?
yeah.
Because at the end of the day, what happened? You're right. It was the state legislatures that had the right to control the elections. We
Correct.
already know that it's constitutionally.
Yeah,
But what happened was when those southern states, um, after Reconstruction,
yeah,
uh, when they were systematically denying African Americans the right to vote during that Jim Crow era from 1870 on to 1964, 65 Voting Rights Act, they had the grandfather clause, which said if your grandfather didn't vote, you can vote. They had a poll tax, and then had the literacy test, and they had the all-white primaries. They had all these things in place to thoroughly disenfranchise African Americans, right? So what the federal government said, basically, if the state is going to violate these African Americans' 14th Amendment rights, which they were doing, and violating the 19th Amendment rights to keep black men from voting, and the 15th Amendment rights to keep black men from voting, if they were going to do this, then of course the federal government can come in and control it.
yeah,
This worked fine. Because guess what? From the Voting Rights Act was passed in 1965. So we had Lyndon Baines Johnson, Richard Nixon, Gerald Ford, Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, uh, George Bush, and Bill Clinton, right? And George Bush again. You had 8 presidents under the right? And there were no voter ID laws, right? The the uh, the Voting Rights Act was re-voted on and passed by Republican Senates and Democratic majorities and Republican majorities. George Bush, a Republican president, reauthorized
mm-hmm.
the Voting Rights Act. So under 8 presidents, there were no need for voter ID laws, was it? Or voter registration laws. But once Mr. Barack Obama's elected, then all heck break loose. We want to
Mm-hmm.
challenge the Voting Rights Act, and that's where we are today.
Yeah.
So basically, what they're trying to do, man, it sounds like they're trying to go back to that pre-voting rights time frame and to really control the voting because they don't like the outcome because the changing of America and the change of voting patterns. As a matter of fact, it was what was it, the millennials or the Y2K? They're talking about now. Some people were mad because the young people voted more Democratic, so they're trying to raise the voting age.
Yeah.
So instead of changing the policy, they're trying to change the rules.
Yeah.
And that's problematic.
No. I mean, you're right. Like I say, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, man. This man, what's the man texting, man?
What else you got?
This man, this man, hey Jay, won't you comment on the thing he said texting, man? He asked me, he commented with a text, like, why do African Americans, why do they vote for the Democratic Party, and the Democratic Party doesn't do anything for them?
I would ask him. I mean, we've already talked about this at nauseum, but I the question that I would ask is, I want to know what that person means when they say that the Democratic Party does nothing for them. Like you get, that's just such a.
Yeah, I think what happens is I see it a lot, and I think this might be what we call in class, man. A teachable moment, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't think that people have this perception that African Americans blindly vote for Democrats or blindly vote for them. They're loyal to them. No, I think people vote and loyal to their interests.
Correct.
And I think, man, it's a book where it's this book, man. It's anybody who get a chance. It's called can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Just Permanent Interest by William Clay, and he talks about the voting patterns of African Americans from 1870 to on to 1992, on through all that time period. And he has this quote, man. This quote is so telling. He says, "In politics, there are no permanent friends. There are no permanent enemies, just interest."
Correct.
And basically, if you look historically, if you want to do a history lesson, and I can go to a detail. In the beginning, African Americans voted Republican.
Or we can tell him to go watch the previous episodes. So
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
But just for the sake, man. Just for the sake, man. African Americans voted Republican, right? They did. It was because it was in their best interest to do so, right? Because it was the Republican Party who passed the 13th Amendment, the 14th Amendment, the 13th Amendment ending slavery, 14th Amendment citizenship rights, 15th Amendment giving you the right to vote, or men the right to vote. It was the Republican Party who passed the Civil Rights Act of 1866, the first one, right? So of course, if you're African Americans, you're gonna do that, right? So fast forward to 1950, 1960, African Americans always voted Republicans. Here's where the Republicans get kind of hazy on the history, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because what happened is that those Southern Democrats who kept African Americans from voting, and the Dixiecrats, whatever, it was those other elements of the Democratic Party that pushed the Voting Rights Act and Civil Rights Act of the 1960s. So it was the Democratic Party that was championing those things. So of course, if you have a party that's helping you get the right to vote, that's helping you get citizenship rights, currently that's trying to pass laws to improve diversity and inclusion, who are not sending judges to the bench that are going to end affirmative action, or that's going to crack down on banking discrimination. Of course, you're going to vote.
Well, you better than me, because I wouldn't even entertain that question. I don't even entertain questions like that anymore, because for you, if a person is asking that question, why do black people vote primarily Democrat? The fact that you even asked that question, that just lets me know that you're not in tune with what's been going on in the last 56 years. That's what that lets me know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's why we're here to explain.
Yeah.
Right? Because sometimes the question comes from a sincere place.
Yeah.
Right? Because people don't know about a lot of people when they vote, they don't know the impact that judges have on their life. They don't know the impact of Department of Justice.
Yeah. But I don't. That question for me, that question didn't sound like it came out of sincerity. That question came on like, let's get on the show and let's talk about it. I'm just saying, for me, there's certain stuff that I'm just not entertaining anymore. And I just say, in light of everything that's been happening, even within the last, even since Barack Obama became president, let's just start there. I'm just saying, where have you been if you're asking the question, why do black people vote for Democrats? Why do I even have to answer that question to you? Yeah. I'm tired of talking. I am really, for me, I'm just tired of having that conversation. Yeah. You vote for who you want to vote for. And if you really want a history lesson, whoever asked that question, I can send you a link right now and you can come on and then we can talk about it. And I want to hear the argument that you have.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, of course, as a teacher, I have extreme patience.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have no problem with explaining and going into detail when someone asks a question.
Yeah.
With no better place it comes from. But yeah, I get it. And I don't take for granted that not as many people as informed or as in tune. You know.
Yeah.
I never assume people know, man.
Yeah, but the thing is, when it comes to that question specifically, whenever I hear that question, it's not coming from it's coming from a place where I think it's like, you all are, because the question is, what have Democrats done for you, for me? Like, why are you all voting Democrat when the Democratic Party haven't done anything for you? Okay. It's a difference between saying, explain to me why you vote for Democrats. Okay. Mm-hmm. We can have that conversation. But when the add-on is, when the Democratic Party hasn't done anything for you, I can't. We need to be able to have dialogue because it's nuanced.
Yeah, it is. But the thing is, it's good to every time it's asked where it comes from. It's good because like a lot of people maybe come from a place of sincerity. Some people legitimately don't know. And like I said, and I think I like Mr. William plays what he says. It's like, people are not loyal to the Democratic Party. They're loyal to their best interests because, look, here's the thing. First of all, I will say this, that in a country with 300 million people, one issue is that two-party systems, two political parties, is not enough to address the diversity of this country. That's one problem, right? So it's like, okay, you vote for this party or that party. I really think that a 3 or 4 party system may be a little better to address the issues, but 2 parties not enough. Another thing is, and I can understand the frustration.
Well, it's regional also. I mean, because when you talk about a Democrat in North Carolina and a Democrat in West Virginia, I mean, so that's what I mean. It is such a nuanced answer that's required. But I'm just saying in general, I'm tired. Black people vote Democrat for the same reason why white folks vote for Republicans. Okay, I mean that's the reason why. But I would say more importantly, why do you vote for? Who do you vote for, and why do you vote for them? Okay, because it almost comes across as I know better than you know, and you don't know anything about my interests, and I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just over it. I'm just over that question.
Yeah. Well, look.
I'm over it.
As the teacher, I never turned down opportunity to give a teachable moment.
Yeah. No, I get it, man. I get it. Yeah. But I'm just. There's so much going on in this country right now, and there's so much on the line in the next, even the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. It's so much. We've moved we have to move past having that conversation. It does nothing to focus on what's going on in the next coming years. And when you look at the issues that we're facing in society, okay, let's just talk about that. Whether you look at income inequality, whether you look at health disparities, whether you look at climate change, when you look at all those things that's happening, and you look at both parties, there's a clear example of one party is trying to address those issues that affect everybody, okay, and one party is they're not concerned about it.
What the thing? Look, I basically look at this here, man. I say which party looks like America?
Yeah.
Which caucus? If you look at the Democratic caucus and look at the Republican Party, which one they call the House of Representatives, People's House, but clearly one party represents the diversity of this country and one doesn't. Yeah. That's just a fact. But yeah, I think a lot of times too, you can tell, but by the type of question someone may ask, their depth of understanding of knowledge, right?
Correct.
Because sometimes if you, with a certain frame of knowledge, there's certain questions you won't ask.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But again, I will definitely always take advantage of the teachable moment.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. Yeah. I get it. I get it. And you know, you
triggers,
yeah.
So now I'm gonna have people trolling you. What Democrat?
Yeah. I mean, but it's such a I don't know, man. I can go on and on.
Get off the Democratic plantation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just over it. I mean, like I say, I look, I know what this show is about, and I get it, man. But the thing is, how can I say it?
Yeah,
I move past having conversations that's not going to advance the real issues that's going on in our society. Who's trying to? The Republican Party, the House Republicans, they said that their number one priority is to impeach Joe Biden and to investigate Hunter Biden. We don't hear, but they campaign on we need to find solutions to inflation. We need to find solutions to, but now we're not hearing anything about that. So,
well, like I said, man. And this is just facts. And if you look at the Republican Party, unfortunately, it's the party of grievances. Yeah. It's the party of the culture wars. Yeah. You get. I was actually campaigning. I was campaigning for Dexter Fort, and I went to area of Duplin County, Albertson. Very conservative, very. Definitely Trump country. Yeah. I went up in the room, maybe 40 people in the room. I think I was the only, melanated person there in the thing. Yeah. But when I hear these people talk, one thing about it is they're sincere. They're really sincere. But if you look at what they're concerned about, a lot of them say they were critical race theory, like the culture wars or the Title IX or something with girls and gender and things of that nature, and the mask mandates and things of that nature. When in reality, what about broadband? You know what I'm saying? Things that directly impact them. Yeah. But I think that they figured out that we're not going to run on issues. We're going to run on these issues that abortion, right? They're going to run on issues that divide, as if Republicans and conservatives don't get abortions, right? But that's the point. They've already decided that these people who are one-issue voters, and they're stuck on these culture wars, it doesn't matter what the other party can say, hey, we have a cure for cancer.
Yeah. And again, man, I get it, man, but part of me is like, I don't care. I did the research, and like I say, I look at what are the issues that's going on, what are the issues that are going on, what's the future going to look like for my daughter, your grandkids, what does the future look like for them, and
Yeah.
who's addressing those issues.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what matters to me. I don't care about reparations. I don't care about all that stuff, and that's why I say sometimes that it comes from a selfish place. But I think that you have to. I guess some people just don't care about the bigger picture and society at large. Like I care about the world that my daughter and my grandkids are going to live in. You know, and it bothers me that the people who are older now, and I'm just talking about lawmakers who are going to be dead in the next 10, 15 years. They're making these decisions, but our grandchildren are the ones that are going to have to bear the brunt of the decisions that they make now. Those are the things that I care about. I'm not, for selfish reasons, I'm going to be okay. But those are the things that I care about.
Yeah, and the thing is, and you got to keep, and the thing is, I think we're all by nature kind of self-centered.
Yeah.
Because just because it's important to me or important to you might not be as important to them, right?
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, and like I said, for some people, like sending their child to school with a mask was tantamount to almost killing them.
Yeah, yeah.
So that type of thing, or mask mandates, people ready. So even though from my perspective it seemed kind of crazy, but people's feelings are important to them, right?
Yeah.
And like I said, is that when you talk about those issues like climate change or issues that should concern everybody, you have people here in these southern counties, in these areas here, the Bible Belt, where they look at everything through the prism of religion.
Yeah.
And they look at the mask mandate, and they look at all this stuff, it's the mark of the beast, and all this kind of crazy stuff, or this person is now, Obama was the Antichrist, now it's Joe Biden's the Antichrist, and they really believe this stuff. So,
why are we the ones that are always questioning why we vote for a particular party? It's always the conversation never centers around. It's always centered on black people and why we vote for a certain party. The conversation never centers around why other people vote for parties against their interests. That's the big issue for me. And we're always the only one. We're the one that's doing it. That's the thing.
Look, that's a rhetorical question.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a rhetorical question.
Yeah,
of course. And like I said, people don't, as you say, look at information and disseminate information to get the nuance.
Yeah.
Right. And like I said, just because you don't know something is going on doesn't mean that it's not happening.
Correct.
Just because you don't believe something is not going on.
Correct.
Doesn't mean it's not happening.
Yeah.
And so that's why I say when people ask questions or whatever, you deal with them. You deal with them where they are, and you gotta go from there.
Yeah.
But that's a question that is being asked and is going to continue to be asked and things of that nature.
And I would say it's the year 2023. There's certain conversations I'm just not having anymore. I mean, that's just me personally. I'm just not having. I'm not addressing certain issues anymore. I'm just not doing it.
I had a student, and I put a quote by Socrates on the board, and I asked him, "Have you heard of Socrates?" And one student sincerely said, "Did he invent soccer?"
I think for students, I guess I'm talking about adults.
Yeah, I know, but follow me, because a question is a question, like, and when I saw, I was almost mad, but I didn't, because the student, she was sincere. Yeah. She was definitely sincere. I'm like, I don't think so, but listen, your oral presentation this week will be on Socrates, give you a better understanding of who he is, that kind of thing. So like I said, I don't presume to understand the place that the question came from. Yeah. I just assume it was good faith, but I will always give an answer.
You better than me. Some of those questions we can talk offline. we can have an offline. I'm just not having those conversations.
I hear.
Yeah, I don't know, man, because I don't know. I don't know why that triggered a nerve. That triggered somewhere because I'm just frustrated, man. I'm just
So what the heck wrong with him?
yeah. I'm just
Man, what the hell,
I'm
you gonna start
frustrated,
cursing,
man.
Why you gonna start cursing?
Nah, I ain't gonna start doing that. But I'm just saying.
I'm just messing, man.
I'm just saying. It's like the keyboard warriors. It's like, come on. Yeah. I mean, there are some people that hit me up in the comments too, and I get it. I was like, man, look, you an adult, man. You are afraid to ask a question on an online forum. Don't be texting me. Ask the question in the chat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I think that when it comes to things like African Americans and what we do or don't do, we just gotta just understand that the premise and basically is that in this country, African American, we've been socially conditioned to believe that African Americans are not as intelligent as or are dependent and all these type of things. That's the stereotype. That's the narrative that has been pushed.
Yeah, but it's being pushed. The person that asked you that question, are they black or white?
Oh, black, of course. Black,
okay,
black.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
he's just, and for me, asking that question, what is he saying that we're not that black people at large aren't educated and they don't do their due diligence and vote accordingly? I'm just asking because this person is not here to defend himself, so I'm just kind of asking a question.
But listen, what I'm saying is that social condition goes both ways, right? So, like I said before, African Americans, I know African Americans. I gave a speech about. I mentioned this in church a couple of weeks ago. Is that an issue with African Americans who measure success to proximity to people who don't look like them, right? And they start using that language, that negative spiritual language, to describe themselves, right? So it's like I said. So when I say social conditioning, I'm speaking for African Americans and whites as well, because you got some African Americans, unfortunately, who have that negative self-hatred, whatever, and they align themselves, or they think whatever is good is best, or good whatever is based on, like I said, something that don't look like them, and then they take the language of those people to use against themselves. Yeah. So I mean, look what Herschel Walker said about reparations. Herschel Walker. Yeah. Herschel Walker, did he just say we should be paying? What's up, Jay? Come here, boy. Yeah. Come here. My grandson come to visit. Say what's up.
What's up, Jaden? Hey, how you doing? What's up, Jaden?
Yeah, but no, what I was saying was, he was saying that you should you should pay the Civil War people that fought the free black reparations as well, right? Yeah. So, like I said, it goes both ways. That's social conditioning. So my thing is that if you're gonna, it's good to have a counter narrative. It's good to have a reasoned and well thought out counter narrative, because even though he may have asked that question, there was somebody out there who may be listening or may look later who sincerely don't know, and even though his question may have came from whatever place it came from, someone out there who's going to get this information and say, "Oh, I didn't know that." And so you never know what seed may be planted. So I always take advantage of these chances.
Yeah, that's the teacher in you.
Oh yeah, man. Oh man. Man, look, man. When you teach at alternative school, man, it superhuman patience.
Yeah. I just don't think that every issue, every question deserves an answer. I'll send you some websites.
That's not the teacher in you.
Yeah. It's not, man. It's not.
Look.
I'm just of the opinion it's just too much on the line right now to be having those reductive conversations.
Yeah. There are no wrong questions or wrong answers, just opportunities. Yeah. Just opportunities.
Yeah.
So what you got, man? What you got?
Man, I actually don't have anything. I think we kind of talked about most of the issues that I have. I guess one big thing is the Proud Boys leader was just his name just slipped my mind, but he was convicted of seditious conspiracy. you know, so that's a huge. When was the last time I test your history? When was the last time someone was tried and convicted of seditious conspiracy?
Uh, I look. I tell you what. Is it a group of people?
Well, it was from my understanding it was five
Was a
people.
Black Panther? Was a Black Panther?
Oh, I don't.
Was it a Black Panther?
Uh,
But look, let
is
me
that what they were convicted of? What's it called?
let me
Sedition.
explain something to you. When they went after the Black Panther Party for this type of stuff right here, there are people from the 60s and 70s that are still in jail today.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna see how many years they give this guy for this crime here. Yeah.
Hold on. What's his name? I'm trying to find his
You
name
find
real
it?
quick. His name was Stuart Rhodes.
Stuart Rhodes.
Yeah, Stuart Rhodes.
Now, Grant. Now, this is the guy, right? So, are these the people that were in Washington D.C.?
Yeah, the Proud Boys. Yeah.
They were in hotels across the Potomac River, and they were waiting. This group that was waiting for Donald Trump to declare martial law, and they were going to come into D.C. with their guns.
Yes.
This is the group right here.
That's the group.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. Now let me say that one more time slow.
Yeah.
They were in D.C. with weapons, with guns, weapons, waiting for the order of Donald Trump to declare martial law.
Yeah.
And they were going to go, and some of these people were actually coordinated with the Trump campaign or Trump people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure I got it right.
Yeah.
I think, is that treason?
Well, it's addition. I don't know how you. I don't know how would you describe it, but I mean, but
Yeah.
I think by virtue of that charge and conviction, I think it's going to change the way that we talk about January 6th.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there are still people who say that this was just a bunch of tourists that were unruly, and again, people that say that I just don't waste time, and I'm not gonna entertain that argument. But it's going to change the way that we talk about it. It'll change the way that history talks about it.
Yeah. The problem is if Trump wins the next election, he's gonna pardon a lot of those people, those January 6th rioters and everything.
Yeah.
He probably will pardon them.
Yeah.
I would not doubt that at all.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I think that some of those people should have got more time. I think that they should have when in the sentencing phase. I think they should bring that same energy that they brought the Black Panther parties in the late 60s, early 70s when they went at them with RICO and all those other federal statute crimes. They should bring that same energy. But that's just me talking.
Well, so look, man, I gotta be. I'm trying to think about it. Like normally when I go places and I take my camera when I travel, I guarantee you, and this is where I think we have to. There are groups of people that were charged based on what they did. Now, if I had my camera and I was in Washington D.C. and that stuff happened in the Capitol, knowing me and how I like to capture images, man, I would have been right up in there in that Capitol taking pictures. I mean, I'm just being honest. I mean,
but Ed, you've been taking pictures. Will you have been beating people over the head with metal pipes?
No,
spray,
but that's why I mean there's levels. That's why I mean there's levels to it. I mean, there were some people who were charged are the ones that were unruly. The people who were, but do I think people who just kind of got caught up and just kind of followed the crowd? Do I think that they should have been charged and have all this jail time? Probably not, because I would have been up in there.
No, I think the people see what happens is you had the large crowds of people who were literally there for a rally.
Yeah.
Who were there for a rally. But then within that, you had actually groups that had other agendas, right? And these people, they would have said you were crazy. Yeah, because what you were saying, yeah. Because I don't think there were too many African Americans up in there, right? Or the one that was up in there.
Yeah. Up until that point, he's the one that got the most time.
He
Yeah.
got the most time. Yeah.
So,
Well, like you said, it's different levels to it, right?
yeah, it's levels to it, man.
It was different levels to it. But yeah, I think the people who were there just to be up there, yeah, I understand, I get it. But there were large groups up there who were actually up there to literally stop the election.
Yeah.
They were there to do maximum damage.
Correct.
And the people who were urinating and putting feces all over the wall and stealing Nancy Pelosi's laptop, or the people who actually took the American flag down and put a Trump flag on top of the Capitol building. Yeah, those people, man. Yeah,
the person who hung a rope, a noose, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, so.
Yeah, and even and here's the thing about crowd, man. Even the people who were there just whatever, I think some of the people that were caught up in that fervor, I think if someone like Hakeem Jeffers or who's the girl from New York, the representative from New York, Ocasio, what's her name, Cortez Ocasio?
Oh yeah, they would. I think they would have been killed. I think they would have been seriously injured. Yeah.
They would have hung. They would have killed them.
Yeah, Mike Pence. They were looking for Mike Pence, but
yeah. So I don't. So those things have to be taken into consideration. And I know everybody say, what about? I just don't think there would have been as lenient as force. I don't think those been not a rush to get the National Guard and military there if those were African Americans predominantly storming the Capitol.
Yeah, but we wouldn't have done that. I mean, we wouldn't have stormed the Capitol. That's the thing.
We wouldn't. I mean, here's what we would have did. We would have did like the Black Panther Party did. We would have exercised. We would have walked in the state assembly with our legal weapons, what we could do, and then the state assembly would have changed the laws. Saying you can't do it.
Yeah. We wouldn't have. Yeah, we wouldn't have done that. There was one last thing that I want to talk about. I know it's 8:00, and I know there's a good football game that's coming on. The Buffalo Bills and the Buffalo Bills and New England Patriots, but.
Yeah, my fantasy league quarterback. I'm playing this guy named Jeffrey Hall. I know he's scared. I'm number one in my fantasy league right now. I have the top record, and I'm doing quite well. So Jeff Hall, just get ready for that spanking I'm putting on you. The game start tonight with my quarterback. But go keep what we said about to say, man.
Yeah, I just totally I don't know. I just forgot about it. No, Kanye West.
Yeah.
Kanye West went on the Alex Jones show today.
Man.
And
you got a clip of it?
No, I don't have a clip of it, but we'll hit on that. I mean the aftermath we'll probably catch up in a few weeks. But basically go. I don't know. It's quite embarrassing, but I guess what I want to say about Kanye West is there are a lot of people that struggle with mental illness. There are a lot of people that have mental illness, bipolar, anxiety, depression. I'm one of those. But we have to be careful sometimes when we say that we know, according to Kanye West, that he's bipolar. Okay? Yeah. Everything can't be excused because of a mental health condition. And I don't think that what he's doing, for one, there's already a stigma attached to people who suffer from mental illness. When we go around and we tell a celebrity, we say Kanye West, he's bipolar, that's why he's doing it. We need to stop that. Okay? Yeah. We need to stop that. He has better access to doctors and medication than the average person. We cannot blame everything on mental illness. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, and I think I saw that clip where he was talking about he loves Jews, but he loves Nazis too. And I think Joanne said, I saw Alex Jones cringe.
Yeah,
it was like, so when you make Alex Jones cringe, you did something.
Yeah,
you did something.
So
but the guy has issues, man, and
everybody has issues.
Know if what he said today,
Yeah.
But no, I'm not making an excuse. But
All
I'm
right.
saying I don't think what saying something like that. I don't think that is a something dealing with bipolarism or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, I just think I don't know if he's trying to get attention or what, but it's not for me to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not for me to say. And look, I wonder why he said when him and Fuentes was up in the up at Mar-a-Lago, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Well, apparently he wanted Donald Trump to be his running mate.
Say again.
Apparently he got in an argument with Donald Trump because he told Donald Trump that he wanted to be his running mate. He wanted Donald Trump to be his running mate.
He wanted Donald Trump to be his running mate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, look, Donald Trump like who check the guest list, man. Look at this guy. Look, let me tell you something funny right quick before we get off, man, about running mates, right? So, people know back in the day when people ran for president, when it came to running mates, there were no running mates, right?
Yeah.
The when people talk about original construction and what the founders meant, there were no running mates. Guess who was vice president?
The person who got the second most votes, right?
The person got second most votes, right?
Yeah.
So if we went on what the founders meant, because I heard that argument on what the founders meant, that means that who would have been Joe Biden's vice president?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who
Donald
would have
Trump.
been Joe Biden? Huh?
Donald Trump.
Who would have been Donald Trump's vice president?
Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the next time somebody make that, you know, what the founders meant or what the founders meant, bring that up, right?
Yeah. Well, Joanne just corrected me. You know, with her psychology major, it is a function of being bipolar. The content is not. So, I stand corrected.
Yeah.
But I think people get the gist of what I was trying to say.
All right.
Well, that's all I got, man. That's all I got.
Yeah, man. Well, that's what, man. I didn't know my grandson was seeing tonight, so that was a surprise. He has red in the house, like
Yeah.
So that meant I got to guard the refrigerator.
All right.
Nah, but yeah, I'm good, man. Looking forward to some good football tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Go Bears. Wish my nephew Dante Hall, hope they do well. Because if it works out, if New Bern wins and East Duplin wins, New Bern plays Friday night in Chapel Hill, and East Duplin will play Saturday morning. So if everything works out like I want to, we'll be staying the night in Chapel Hill catching both games.
All right. Well, thank everybody for tuning in. We'll see y'all. We'll see y'all in a few weeks.
All right. Thanks, Tracy.
Peace.
Thanks, Joanne. Thank everybody that tuned in. All right. And you gotta play a thing next week, man. The thing.